Dudes with Brews on a Porch presents to you another edition of Strange Brews, Conspiracies, Murder, Ghost Stories, Aliens. They're all coming to get you, my dears.
The spookiness continues, as does the month of October, I guess. My name is Drew. Rob,
I'm Rob.
Rob is here, my co-host, my love, so many things that he can be called.
Can I be your rock?
Can you be my rock? Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. I think you could be my rock.
So I'm his Chris Rock.
So we're here to talk more spooky things in the month of Strange Brew. I have a beer that I guess could fall under the strange category. Rob, you're a big Bill Murray fan of Caddyshack, Stripes, Ghostbusters, of course.
Ghostbusters.
And today I'm drinking
Groundhog's Day. It might be one of the great movies of all time.
Today I am drinking an ode to the Ghostbusters as I sip on Lion's Tail Ekto Cool Slushee beer. I feel like Ghostbusters could be considered a Halloween-esque movie. Would be a movie that you would watch around this time of year. So I felt it was appropriate. This beer was provided by our longtime listener and my friend Ray, who I haven't seen in many a years. And then he messaged me. He said, "Hey, I'm at Lion's Tail. I got some beers for you." And he delivered them to me like a nice guy. So that's really great. Who you going to call? This slushy style kettle sour features an enormous amount of real fruit, including orange, tangerine, and a touch of lemon. The Ekto green color naturally comes from chlorophyll, more like borophyll, from alfalfa leaves. Contains lactose. There's a disclaimer on this bottle, or on this can. Due to the large amount of real fruit added after fermentation, this beer can still continue to ferment in the can and could rupture if not kept cold and not consumed immediately. Contains lactose and chlorophyll from alfalfa leaves for color. It is 5% ABV, 0 on the IBUs. It's green, it's ghoulish, and it's looks like the plasm of Ghost.
It does.
Ooh-wee. That is tart.
I want to drink it, but I don't want to drink it based on the face that you made when you drank it. Everything else about it makes me want to drink it, though.
You get the lemon at the end. Maybe you get the citrus up front. The lemon, like the orange tangerine, and then you get the lemon. It's a good citrusy beverage, and I think it's appropriate for the times. It would go well in summer, but it's green, like Slimer, and it's fitting. It's fitting for what we're doing. I think it's has that kettle sour spice to it, I guess you could say, tartness. It's good stuff.
All right. Well, I am re-drinking a beer that I've already drank on the podcast. From Radiant. It's Blank Slate. It's a wit beer.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a wheat beer brewed with citrus peels and spices, 5.2% alcohol by volume. That's all I know about it. I don't remember my last review of it. This beer and last week's beer were a contribution of Jack. Jack the Cool Guy, you might know him as. That's what he's in my phone as. So I want to thank him for being naive enough to think that he could leave beers in my fridge and I would not drink them.
Foolish.
Because he was foolish for thinking such a thing. So let's take another sip of this beer. I mean, I can smell the citrus in it.
That's good.
I can taste the citrus in it.
Mm.
It's got a good, it's got a good color to it.
Yeah.
But I will say on the front end, the citrus comes through right away, lingers a little bit, and then you get the wheat beer on the back end. It's just a good beer. I like Radiant.
Good, good. Well, we are going to dive into the world of spooky things.
Do you think, just real quick, do you think that all my equipment will stop working after all the strange brews? Do you think it's just a strange occurrence for this month
I
that
hope
I
not.
have a working computer and a working microphone, and
I hope not.
I've taken notes. We've put work into today's episode.
Yeah. So you brought forth, or you're bringing forth, something that I don't have any knowledge on. We're gonna in real time adjust to and adapt to what we're gonna discuss, and I have things for you as well. One of the things, and this is what we'll start with, about because we talked about it briefly. I sent you the video, and it's a continuation a little bit of what we talked about last week in regards to there were reports of a female Bigfoot with a baby Bigfoot in Britain. There was a photograph that was taken, and you can kind of make it out, you kind of can't. But now another sighting of Bigfoot has been recorded in the state of Colorado. An individual from Florida was in Colorado visiting, seeing the sights, gets on a train to go explore the mountains a little bit, see like the beautiful views that Colorado has to offer. And in the distance, there is what some described as a Bigfoot walking among the ground, and at one point just squats down and potentially takes a shit.
Do you think it was squatting to shit, squatting to hide?
I don't know. Like it kind of like at first watch, it's like, oh, that they're squatting to shit, but then like they try to like blend in. I feel like with the
because if you just take a still shot of the squatting squatch, then it really disappears kind of into the landscape.
So,
but that would mean that we live in a world where not only is there a Bigfoot, but he can feel a camera on him.
Right.
Because this guy was on a train, right?
On a train, yep. So that explains why they couldn't go.
The train was there.
That's why that explains why they couldn't go and navigate the poop. They had to.
Yeah, well, that sounds like a reverse engineered situation to me. If it's me, and I capture that Sasquatch pooping.
Stop this
because
train.
That was the first question I said is why don't they have the poop?
Mm-hmm.
I'd jump off that train.
It looked like it could have potentially been a deep.
I don't care.
Man dies in search of Bigfoot poop.
He needs to know. I need to know. We need to know.
We need the truth. Damn it! Somebody knows the truth. Somebody's not telling us the truth. And, quite frankly, we're getting closer and closer, but maybe one day we'll get those turd samples and we'll know. I didn't see like a lot of people like disputing it. It could be a man in some sort of camouflage, but, I don't know. No one else.
That would also mean that there's a man out there that is like, there's a train coming. Time to put on my Squatch suit. And just go see what happens, because this is kind of in the middle of nowhere. It looks like the shot.
Yeah, well, and then like
up on it's on a hill in a field of what is it, Colorado, mountainous region, but not Rockies mountainous. It was more like the hills around the valley here. They're festooned with shrubs and like rocky paths and such. Am I saying that right? You think that's right?
Yeah, I think so. And it's you don't get, it's not great footage because it's on a phone and it's like heavily zoomed in.
It's pretty good though. It's pretty good footage for the situation. It weirds me out that his grandpa was also a squatchy, Squatchington like guy.
Oh, really? I didn't get that part.
But the other thing is this guy like turned his Insta into a private account because he doesn't want the attention. But then he also goes on a news show and talks about it. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But it's just a good, fun continuation to what we were speaking about briefly last week. So right now, I would like to shift it to what you brought because kind of our goal was to find some like unusual stuff, like really weird, strange shit. What I'm going to talk about next is strange in a regard, but it's not like so far out there that it's crazy. So I think we should talk about your stuff first.
Okay, so this is an article that I found. The theory is that Earth has been sucked into a black hole,
Okay.
and we just have not noticed yet. So we've in 2012, CERN created a black hole that sucked Earth inside of it, but um, because we don't actually know what happens when you get sucked into a black hole, there's a theory that it'll create a hologram of you and the Earth as it's being pulled through, and we're living as holograms, but we're already sucked into a black hole, possibly dead, possibly a singularity. Uh, and I guess so. There's actually a scientist that is proposing this theory, Mather. This has not been peer reviewed yet, but he claims to have evidence that this is what would happen if you were sucked into a black hole, and that's what happened to us back in 2012, and the time shift has not caught up to us or something along those lines. The funny part to me is that we just haven't noticed. We haven't noticed that it's happened. I want your thoughts on this theory before I move on to the next thing, which in my opinion correlates to this.
So we were sucked into a black hole, and what has changed?
We're a hologram. We're dead already.
We're already dead, and we're now a hologram.
I mean, he doesn't say that, but my dumb brain, that's what I hear when I say when somebody says we've been sucked into a black hole, but the time shift hasn't caught up, so you're a hologram. That to me goes, all right, I'm dead. Physically, I'm dead. We're all dead.
When is it gonna catch up?
Well, that's the thing about black holes, Drew. You just never know when it's gonna catch up to you.
What are the symptoms or the signs that we were sucked in?
Oh, there are none. That's what's so beautiful about this theory.
So
And
we just
here's the
continue
thing.
to exist, and then one day we won't.
Yeah.
Isn't that how it
So,
just works?
so I found this article in Popular Science,
Okay.
which is a magazine that used to be a magazine. Now it's an online thing. Which I just wrote down new theory. Popular Science is not a science magazine anymore. But I was also led to that. I was led to that article from a different article that I found in Popular Mechanics.
Okay.
And I realized that the Popular Science and Popular Mechanics should merge and become one new magazine called Popular Bullshit.
I like it.
I found so much shit in these articles that was like there's nothing to support what like I used to read Popular Mechanics and Popular Science when it was a magazine. And it would talk like Popular Mechanics, you could read about airplanes and engineering and stuff. Popular Science would talk about space, discoveries in space and things like that. Now they're telling me that we're in a black hole, and this hasn't been peer reviewed, but let's put it out there anyway. Like, it just.
So if we're sucked in,
I believe in a lot, but you know what? I've found that since I decided to believe in the moon landing footage, I've become more of a skeptic.
okay.
It's because I read these and I was like, all right, well, I don't know if I can. I'll believe that the Earth is hollow, but I don't believe we're in a black hole.
So if we're in a black hole, and ultimately we are currently dead because our time hasn't caught up to the time of being sucked into a black hole. Ultimately, what we do going forward is meaningless. Is even more meaningless than previous. And if it happened in 2012, it's now been 11 years, and we still haven't caught up.
Well, and I think we knew this was going to happen, and I'm
Okay.
going to tell you why, and it involves Avril Lavigne.
Okay.
Because back in 2005,
I think we've talked about Avril Lavigne and her the clone identities, right?
We may have, but now I've sucked it much like a black hole has sucked Earth inside of it. I have sucked the Avril Lavigne, clone
You've
theory.
sucked Avril Lavigne?
Just the clone theory.
Oh, just the clone. Okay.
Yeah. Uh, uh, also, the Taylor Swift is a clone of Zena LaVey, the daughter of the founder of the Satanic Church theory,
Okay.
and the theory that Beyonce is part of the Illuminati and also has a clone.
Okay.
These are the things, these theories, I don't believe in them. I don't believe that they're true. I don't believe that we do clone. That it just really doesn't make that much sense to me. But it's a really good way to make people talk about that stuff as opposed to like, because what to me about this black hole theory is we just didn't notice. We didn't notice it happened. Why didn't we notice? Because we're focused on Avril Lavigne's clone Melissa. And Taylor Swift, who's already a clone. We're talking about all these things. Meanwhile, the physicality of the Earth is just sucked out from underneath us. And it's to me, I think, yeah, I think that they set us up, and now we're just living in a world of superficial bullshit. Um, but I will say this: Paul McCartney is a lookalike. That one I believe in.
That's like the longest. So, do you think like on Paul McCartney's deathbed he'll be like, "I'm really not him.
Yeah, he's gonna be like, "I'm Kyle.
I'm
Please
Fall.
find my parents."
I'm Fall." Wasn't it fake Paul? Fall?
I don't believe in that accurate or that shortening of the words. Let's call him fake Paul. Let's call a spade a spade. Can he write music? Maybe hey, maybe they found like if you tell a guy you're the best at writing music, go listen to his Christmas song. Tell me that's the greatest thing ever. No, it's not. But it is on the radio every Christmas. That's fake Paul writing that Christmas song.
So is it? So you think? So because of
I'm not here to talk about Paul McCartney.
I know.
I'm
I'm saying like with these ideas of clones for celebrities, cloning celebrities, right? So why would it be so important to clone Avril Lavigne in 2005? Is it because people knew that the world was about to get sucked into a black hole?
No, that's the thing. I don't think that they did clone Avril Lavigne. I think that they put forth the idea so that we would be focused on it.
Okay.
During the shift. They knew the shift was coming
Okay.
when they were making mini black holes on over there in England or wherever, some country that's not America.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I don't know why I just said that. But yeah, and it was all used to keep the people that are paying attention because there's another big conspiracy out there, and that's why the Kardashians famous, and we don't even have to, there's no way to get to the bottom of that one. Although I have heard it's because of the Buffalo Bills, which I don't know if I told you about that, but
No.
yeah, we have the Buffalo Bills to thank for the Kardashian show, for Kim Kardashian and all the hoopla, if you will, that surrounds the Kardashians, and that's because the Buffalo Bills drafted O.J. Simpson, which led him to meet Nicole, which led him to allegedly murder
Mm-hmm.
Nicole, which led Robert Kardashian to take the case, which led Robert Kardashian to become famous for taking said case, which then led to the fame of his children.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. Thank you, Buffalo Bills.
You brought up the Illuminati, right?
Yeah, Beyonce and Jay-Z are prominent members. Also, their headquarters is in the Denver airport.
The Denver airport has
Yeah, that is a real theory. That is something I found in my travels while researching stuff today. It doesn't sound like I did a lot of
doesn't
research, but I
doesn't
actually I researched a lot of things a little bit as
does,
opposed to researching one thing a lot.
doesn't like the Denver airport, isn't it like full of like satanic like imagery and a lot of like phallic imagery as well?
I've been there and I didn't notice.
Hmm.
But that doesn't mean anything because I was looking out the windows. I was not looking at the building itself. I
Mm-hmm.
will be flying through there again in my life, and I'll tell you what, I'm going to bring my notebook, and I'm gonna get to the bottom of some things. I'm gonna ask some questions. I'm gonna find the old curmudgeonly security guard and try and slip him a 20 to let me into the tunnels. I'm gonna see what I can get to and what I can do.
So the Illuminati has
That's all you have to say. You're not gonna try and talk me out of that.
no. Please do that.
Okay. Well, when I disappear, you can thank you for
I
being
will.
supportive.
I will say when I Google the Illuminati on Google, the second search that comes up, or the second thing that comes up, is the National Security Agency website. The NSA shows up when you look up Illuminati. The first one is the wiki. The second one is the NSA, which is kind of interesting to me. Why would it be? Why would that government website come up if you are looking for the Illuminati?
They just forgot to take that keywords out of that keyword out of the search for the NSA.
Yeah,
Like that's that sounds like Google's pushing an agenda and
could be. There
I
could
don't
be
think
part of it.
I think it's a false flag. I think the NSA is not part of
Hmm.
the Illuminati. I think some of the members are part of the Illuminati, but
The Illuminati, a Bavarian society that it only operated for a decade, believe it or not, from 1776 to 1785.
I didn't know Denver's airport was that old.
Well, this is when it this is when it was
This is the
widely
the recognized Illuminati, not the secret society that underground society, right?
right. German law professor would bring in these Enlightenment ideals, and then would like educate members in reason, philanthropy, and other secular values that they could influence, so that they could influence political decisions when they came to power. So that's like originally that doesn't sound like a bad idea, It sounds like I guess maybe I don't know about influencing political figures, but now it's like they control the world, and they control the world now through celebrities, influencers.
See, but now, if I remember from my back in my heyday, years ago of actually looking into this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
if I recall correctly, there is a subsect, an upper echelon of the Illuminati called the Knights of the Golden Circle.
Okay.
Which if we type that into do a rudimentary search of that, like I'm interested to find out what happens because if I believe like they let they let celebrities like kind of become this thing because they did become the they're really the ones that change the public persona about anything,
Mm-hmm.
celebrity does now. But they're not of the bloodlines that I feel like Illuminati kind of keeps in mind when they do, their because I feel like it's kind of you're bred into it and they don't just let anybody in. It's not based on your IQ necessarily.
The Knights of the Golden Circle have to do with the Civil War and slaves.
Okay, well, like I said, it was from a long time ago.
Um, yeah. So like Jay
Seriously,
Z.
it has nothing to do with the Illuminati. I swear.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Okay, this is all right. So my bad. Thinking of something else.
Thinking of something
There's
else.
definitely an upper echelon in the Illuminati, or there's a lower echelon and it's called something else.
Mm-hmm.
God,
I
if we would
mean,
have just made this the topic, I could have researched it.
yeah, you could have made it, but I think
Okay, yeah,
so.
I'm seeing this. The Knights of the Golden Circle is more of. I think that's more of a clan thing.
Yeah, not good.
Uh,
Still not a good
yeah.
organization, nonetheless. So
let's move away from this.
ultimately, we're all dead. We're living in some sort of hologram. Earth is not caught up because we've been sucked into a black hole, and eventually we're all going to meet our demise at the same time, simultaneously, huh?
Yeah, which is the same as if, people that believe that we're going to live until the sun explodes.
Wouldn't that be the way to go, though? The
black
preferred
hole?
method? Yeah, like everyone just dies at the same
Yeah.
time. They're just gone.
Yeah, we've already died.
We're already dead.
We've already
Are
died.
we in heaven right now?
Jesus, I really don't think so. Um,
What what if heaven isn't like necessarily you die, but it's just more of like you just continue living your life, but you're dead.
it's called reincarnation, I think.
Maybe this is what I was
Uh,
reincarnated to. What a bummer. I don't like that. But
I think
anyways,
you have it pretty good. Pretty good.
yeah, it's all right. Um,
But
okay.
I did find those to be interesting ideas that are the fact that to find that in a popular science article, and it literally says in there like not peer reviewed. This has not yet been peer reviewed. It's like you think? I
Right.
can imagine what his peers would say about this, and I'm not going to cut somebody down because I don't know what happens when you get into a black hole. I believe we've kind of proven that time changes based on how deep into the black hole you get until you get
Mm-hmm.
to a point where and I want to say it slows down the further in you get, but I'm not 100% sure on that. So, and I've already said one terribly wrong thing.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to continue down
Well,
that road. The real big strange thing conspiracy is if people think that I'm intelligent. I've proven that all wrong today.
well,
Go. What's our next topic?
it kind of actually blends with the fact that we're all dead, um, because there are actually a lot of different types of ghosts out there in the world. Much like there's different types of people, there's types of ghosts, and if we're all dead right now, we're all one of these 5 categories of ghosts. Okay, the first one is the interactive personality ghost. Okay, the most common of ghosts. Someone you know usually is spotted, a family member, or maybe even a historical figure. They can be friendly, and they often show themselves to others in a variety of ways. They can speak, make noises, touch you, or even emit an odor like a perfume or a cigar smoke. Okay, so that's one type. It's like essentially like we retain our personality when we were alive. We can feel emotion still. It's like we're just visiting. We're here with you, same person doing the things, but we're in ghost form. And that's theoretically where most of us would be, probably where we sucked in a black hole and now we are all dead.
Okay.
That's
Yeah, yeah.
this
Ghost is a hologram, right?
almost, yeah, it could be.
It's just a natural version of a technological idea,
Oh,
which that's the same thing as using echinacea as opposed to whatever immune boosting pharmaceuticals on the market. It's the
mhm.
same thing.
Along
All
with
right, let's
this,
go. Let's go to go.
well,
Go. Sorry.
so along with this, it got me to thinking, are there friendly ghosts out there? There are friendly ghosts out there, and I have found some firsthand accounts from not me, but from people in which one story stood out to me. This individual was 6, 7 years old, right? And they were well aware of a ghost that was present in their house. Really nice ghost. They would say, "Hey, ghost, I want to listen to the radio. Can you turn it on?" They would turn it on, full blast. The radio would turn on. Got to the point where they're moving a dresser from one room to another. I don't know if they were moving houses or whatever. Brother couldn't do it. They were having troubles. The two people moving the dresser. Ghost just popped up and said, "Hey, I'll give you a hand." Helped them out.
So
That
a ghost is like a remote control or a dolly.
could be. Very well could be. I don't know. But here's one which works with my Ekto Cool Slushy beer. Second type of ghost is the ectoplasm ecto mist. So if you ever see a mist or a fog kind of
Dark?
swirling, you may be witnessing a ecto mist or a ghostly mist. It is a vaporous cloud that appears several feet off the ground, can move swiftly and simply stay still, kind of like it's orbiting. These are often found in videos and photographs. They can be white, gray, or even black. They kind of like linger and then move away quickly.
We had one of those on 9th Street.
Listen, yes, and
A lot of people saw that down in the basement
and there was
in the back stairwell.
then there's pictures that you had, and people told me I was crazy. I was like, no, there's pictures of like waterfalls that you had. The ghosts were in the pictures, and I said,
No, yeah. Well, we also had the picture of our living room with the old man, and Kat was staring
that was
right at
wild.
him. I mean, that one was that one made me not want to masturbate at the house.
you know, fair enough. You know, I never really thought about it like that. That could be a real awkward moment.
Every time I unzip, I think about it. I'll
You're
tell you.
getting your plasm all over the place
Yeah.
and all over, you know.
I go, how many past generations of family members am I offending today?
I do remember that picture, and I wish we had access to it still because
It's they've got it. They've got it.
do they?
If we can I'll text my mom and see if she can send it if it's on her phone. And we
Okay.
can put it on with the site. But yeah, no, that 9th Street house had a lot of because I've never been as scared as I got upstairs. So we had the mist in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
We had something in the on the ground floor that we captured on photo, that an old man very
Yep.
clearly.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But I remember being home alone, and I always used to hear stuff from Ryan and Trevor's, like their room and my room was next to each other, and our closets kind of like Tetris pieced,
Mm-hmm.
where where my closet jutted into their room, their closet jutted into my room, and I would hear stuff coming from that closet where it sounded like somebody was like moving books and boxes and stuff, and I would go in there and nobody would be there. And there was one day that I was like, I was home alone. I heard a bunch of ruckus in that other room. Went and checked. There's nobody there. There's nobody home. Nobody in the room. I closed their door and I just went into my room and I sat on the edge of the bed and I was looking out my door into my parents' room, whose room was across the
Yep.
hall. And I was watching in there and they had a TV that was in my perfect line of sight, and like. You know how you're kind of like when you're just looking in a small field through the doorway, and I was just kind of like listening to the other room, and then all of a sudden I saw something move in the reflection of the TV screen, and then I heard a door slam upstairs. I think it was the bathroom door slammed,
Mm-hmm.
and I legitimately barricaded myself in that room.
Well, I know the people
yeah,
that live
like,
in that house now.
oh yeah, do they have issues?
I should ask.
You should ask, because we had issues on every floor.
Maybe they were
different types of issues.
Well, it could have been that they were just upset about all the parties and all the wild shit that went down in that household.
A lot of stuff happening there, but
all fun, all enjoyable, all in good times. I had a lot of fun in that house, for sure. Anyways, moving on.
I feel like I moved in there when I quit using cold turkey, so it wasn't the greatest. But that was why that was what made me move back home.
I had a lot of fun. I mean, it was,
We got away with a lot there.
yeah. Well, anyways, the third type is the poltergeist. Of course, probably the more popular of the terms, because in Hollywood, in cinema, in television, poltergeist is a term that we hear a lot. But do people really know what a poltergeist is? It actually, the word itself means it's a noisy ghost. Just makes a lot of noise.
I will say this: I just watched Poltergeist at the Hollywood Cemetery, and they explain in the first act of that movie what the different three different types of ghosts, I believe. And they explain what a poltergeist is, and then they show us a movie called Poltergeist where the spirit in the movie does not actually exhibit any of the signs of it being a poltergeist.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't actually line up. Maybe at the very end, it
Well,
lines up, but it was very funny to me. So what is the actual? So it's just a noisy ghost.
it has the ability to move, knock things over,
All right, it
make
does do that
make noise,
in the
and
movie.
manipulate the physical environment. So you might have actually been dealing with the poltergeist almost. It's actually the rarest form of hauntings and the most terrifying usually. There's going to be, lights turn off and on, doors slam, fires break out mysteriously because of this like spiritual or disturbance.
Yeah.
They start slowly and mildly, but then intensify. And then usually the activity is harmless and it ends quickly. But sometimes it could be dangerous. You need to get that old lady to do the short old lady with "This house is clean." You need to get her in the joint. What a weird Madame Serena knows all.
Yeah, I think if they would have remade that in like the early 2000s, Philip Seymour Hoffman would have made a good Madame Serena.
What?
I'm telling you, go watch Truman the Capote movie. I think he could have gotten into that character. I think he could have.
I thought he said Truman Show. I was like, what?
No, he's Capote, the movie about Truman Capote.
I don't know who that is. But...
Anybody? Well, yeah, that's on you. Our listeners are with me right now. I guarantee it.
Okay, good. So yeah, that's the type. So maybe you were dealing with poltergeist almost on 9th Street. That kind of meets the criteria a little bit.
Well, that's the thing though. I never saw what was making the noises in Ryan and Trevor's room. I never saw.
But you heard it.
But it was definitely clearly, yeah. So it was a noisy ghost. Downstairs we never had that. In the basement we never had that. Only upstairs. So I don't know if maybe it was an angsty teenager in the upstairs, and it was a grandfather who had taken that angsty teenager in when the parents were died in a horrific bus accident, and then in the basement you had the mom just hovering around because that's where she was used to being.
You never know.
Yeah.
The next type that are most popular in forms of photographs are the orbs. So
I don't believe these orbs.
They're transparent.
Do you believe in the orbs?
Maybe translucent.
Lucent. Yeah. Lucent.
It's a ball of light that hovers over the ground. Of course, you always hear about it in all the ghost documentaries, all the shows. You always see orb.
Ghost Adventures. Oh,
so it's.
Did you see that orb?
It's believed.
I feel sick.
It's believed.
It went into your stomach.
It's believed that orbs are the soul of a human or even an animal that has died and is traveling around from one place to another. Circular in shape makes it easier for them to move. And they could potentially form into a full body apparition if you're lucky enough, I guess.
The circular in motion,
white or blue,
it makes them easier to move.
Makes it easier. That's
what we're saying.
White or blue. Yep.
So ghosts are dealing with a lot of wind resistance. Is that what I'm hearing?
Maybe. I don't know. maybe. Who knows, man? Like, who knows? Like in between worlds, it could require a lot to move about. But remember when after I had that crazy dream with that my dad was in, the next day, an orb-like thing came into my car on my way to the Y.
How big was it?
I don't know. It was quick, and then my radio turned up right after. Right after it came into my car, my radio turned up.
What was it? A speck of dust size?
No.
Okay, see that's where I go. There might be these bigger. If it's a bigger orb, I don't see a lot of that. A lot of times I see night vision camera work.
Yeah.
And they go, look at these orbs, and I go, that is dust.
Yeah,
it's
no, this was like almost like kind of like a flashlight.
Oh, okay, all right. See, I've not experienced that myself.
And I tried to I take the same path every single day, and that's never ever happened. Like a reflection off anything, you would think, same place, same time, every time the reflection is going to be there. It's not. But
we're going to glitch in the hologram because we're all in the black hole.
Very well could be. The last type of ghost is the funnel ghost. This is the kind that's the most fun because this is the one you go to the fairgrounds with and you get a funnel cake.
Get
just
the cakes. You get the
ectoplasm
you
gets
get,
powdered all over that cake. Now I'm saying,
yeah.
hey yo, that's the kind of ghost that Carissa would like to experience because this
Yeah, she likes what, thick on top, thin on the bottom. Is that
something like that. I
you
don't know.
can cut that out. Cut it out if you want.
Um, this is
That's
the
your wife. You should be mad at me.
this is the most spotted in homes or historical buildings. A funnel ghost or vortex. So a lot of times when you experience these, you're walking through, you get those cold spots. So again, ghost hunters, ghost adventures, all that, they always feel the temperature drops, right? You feel the cold spot, and then there's some sort of vortex that's associated with these funnel ghosts. They take the shape of a swirling funnel, and usually they are the loved, or it's believed that it's like a loved one returning for a visit or a former resident of the home. It's like a wisp of light or a swirling spiral of light, and they're caught in photographs or in video. So maybe that's what I encountered. Maybe I encountered a funnel ghost
It could be. Yeah, that could be.
instead of an orb. And I could see how you could mix up the two.
Yeah,
with those.
definitely. I mean, the top of a funnel is an orb shape.
Yeah, I'd be
Much
interested.
like Earth is supposedly a sphere, but if you look at it from one angle, it could very well be funnel shaped.
Or in a black
Once
hole.
you look at it from a different perspective, being pulled into a black hole. So maybe Earth is flat, but on the bottom side, it's being funnel pulled
Maybe.
into a spiral, turned into a spiral.
Maybe. Very well could be. I'd like to get Todd's point of view on these.
I was gonna say we're really blowing we're shooting the moon here
He's busy.
because this is
Sure.
our Todd topic.
Yeah, it is a top topic, but we'll get him hopefully maybe maybe next week. We'll see.
New segment will be Todd topics. Topics with Todd.
Yeah. But as somebody, you've had plenty of encounters with what I would describe as a ghost. What category would you put your apartment ghost under?
Which one does physical manifestations, poltergeist?
Mm-hmm.
Like getting scratched, things moving,
That would be
pictures being falling off walls.
That would be a poltergeist.
I think that's what it would have had to have been, I guess, because we had picture frame, like I had everything on my dresser getting moved off, falling off like being pushed off the dresser. I had pictures that were screwed into the wall being taken off, not through the picture itself, but I used to put a screw at each corner, so then you'd kind of like you put two screws in, you'd set the picture on it, and then you'd screw in at the top, so you'd have to you couldn't lift up and pull it out.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? That's how I used to put pictures up there, and still they would fall, and I don't understand how, still to this day. So it's, but I also had, the feeling of something being there, something rushing upon me, or something watching me or whatever. But that feels a little too ghost adventure-y. I don't like to say that. I didn't get viscerally. I didn't have a visceral feeling. I just got the fear response.
Yeah.
I wasn't hurtling over and going, "Oh my God, I'm so sad right now. I don't know why I'm so sad."
Yeah. So I think I don't know. I'm sure there's other types too. And again, like to bring Todd in, like what's the difference? Well, I guess
Well, here's the real question.
Mm-hmm.
If we're all dead, if we're in a hologram, we've been sucked into a into a black hole, what type of ghost do you think you are? Or what type of ghost do you think I am?
Me, I would I would say I am the interactive personality. I'm not leaving my ectoplasm anywhere, Maybe occasionally in a Kleenex after I sneeze or something.
Emphasis on the something.
Hey, yo. My wife is looking at me as I was saying that. She thought I was going to say something inappropriate, but you know what? She underestimates me. She
Yeah,
underestimates me.
you
I
leave
have
that to me
allergies.
on this podcast.
I have allergies. I'm allowed to blow my nose into a Kleenex and leave some ectoplasm onto this world that has been sucked into a black hole. And it doesn't matter where I leave it anyways because we're all dead. I would say I am the interactive personality. Most people I feel like would. I feel like if you are like an angry person, you have a short fuse, you're a bit of a dick, you might be a poltergeist. That could be the new Jeff Foxworthy thing. If you're out there, you could be a poltergeist. If you're all pantsing your grannies for no reason and you say, holy shit, Timmy? Whatever the fuck I don't know.
I think it is Timmy. Tommy? Whatever.
I
want to say Orb because I don't believe in myself. Sorry, dumb, whatever.
That's
I
funny,
don't
actually. That was a good one. I liked it. Yeah, I would say. I mean, we also could be funnel ghosts. So either because realistically,
let's put those two in the same.
Yeah, because realistically, at this point, what? Except for like my job, I'm only interacting with people that I care about. Therefore, I could be a funnel ghost. You know what I mean?
I interact with more people than I care about.
Here's a thought. We're getting, if we are really sucked into a black hole, the world, do the people that die in our reality right now, are they just is their timeline faster than ours?
I think that they're further into somehow there's a weird thing where they've gone deeper into the black hole before we have.
Mm-hmm.
I'm making this up completely. This is not in the scientific papers. But I think those are made up too. So
well, with
I'm
the age differences, they have more time.
Yeah, they might have been born at the same time, but they've aged in a different timeline than we have.
Interesting.
Unknowingly.
Interesting.
No, none of that actually makes sense when you think about it. Now that I'm actually unwrapping the statement that I just we have proven that I'm an idiot today. I think that's what's coming on this podcast. Yeah.
No.
But that's the thing. I'm a noisy ghost. I'm a noisy ghost, and I just say what I want because none of it matters. Because you're all ghosts too. Because we in a black hole over here.
I like it. Well.
You know why the Earth's center is hollow? It's because it's a hologram.
Hey, yo.
Hologram left over from a black hole trip.
Things to think about, Rob. Things to think about. Well, I'm all fueled up on my Ekto Cool Slushee. The Slushee sour.
Short episode today, huh?
47. Brewed with real fruit, orange, tangerine, and a touch of lemon. It was good. It was tasty. It's actually like, I would say like the sourness. Usually with like the kettle sours, the sourness is like overpowering. You get a few first sips into it, and it actually like blends pretty well. Like it's got the tartness, but it's not like so much that you're always like puckering up,
Yeah, I didn't see you after the first sip. I feel like it's like getting into a cool pool, not a cold pool.
Cool.
You get used to it, and you kind of just wade around in it. I didn't see the look on your face every time you went under.
And then when you get out, you're super embarrassed. I was in a pool. I was in the pool. George Costanza, he can relate.
He can. He does. We all should. They should show that episode in health studies class just so women know what happens when you're in the pool.
That's just always been my excuse. And they're just like, we went swimming yesterday. And I'm like, I was in...
Well, did I tell you that I had I used to be friends with a bully way back in the day on Amory Street. And we went swimming one time, and he said something to me. I was courting a young lady before I had any right to court anybody. But I hadn't caught up to the curve, and I thought that this is what you're supposed to do, whatever. And we went swimming, and then like she like a week later she kind of stopped talking to me, and he goes, it's because when you came out of the lake she saw you got a small dick. And I was like, well, that's a little unfair, don't you? Don't you think that's jumping to some conclusions at 12 years old to like, but true story, that really happened.
And then you followed up with that person years
I
later.
I I talked to her about it. I did.
Did you
I
really?
asked her. Yeah. I, and she said, "No, it's because you called me a bitch. You called me a bitch." And I,
Oh,
and she told me the situation. I go, "I wasn't calling you a bitch. I was calling the person behind you was being a bitch. I called them a bitch." And she
oh.
was like, "Either way, you use the word."
Yeah.
That was enough for me. This was the valedictorian of our school, of our class. She was very my life would have been different if the person behind her just wouldn't have been acting like a bitch.
Could you
Now I
imagine?
would never call now I would never call anybody that. Because it's just not worth it. But I do like to address things head on more
But
so.
you were learning, you're growing, you're in your
uh,
youth, your adolescence, and
Parts of me were growing, not the right parts apparently.
hey, you know,
And now I live in that fear of rejection, and that's why I'll be single forever. I'm always worried that when I get out of the shower, I gotta get the hot. I gotta take hot showers just to avoid.
then it blisters.
But yeah, but the bulge is still there. That's what I'm
Oh,
looking. This is such a dumb. I'm done with this premise because I can't even make sense of it anymore.
no, I think you're on something good. Well, when
Uh,
after you're
you
done in your scorching
you
showers, I would recommend this Ekto Cool beer.
yeah. You didn't even say anything about my backdrop. You didn't even say anything about my setup. Like
I do like
trying
the
to be
the X
trying to
Files
be yeah. I'm
backdrop.
trying to be professional here, even
Oh,
though no one else is gonna see it.
looks great.
This is for you.
Maybe that lady will be there one time. What's she doing now?
She's like a physician or
Is she really?
neuroscientist or something. I think so. I think she's like way smarter than I ever would have been. Also, she could be working at Walgreens. I really don't know actually.
Both good
In my
jobs.
head,
Both good jobs.
yeah,
We're
yeah, yeah.
not.
Not putting anybody down. Both jobs I can't do. Uh,
You could
but no,
you
yeah,
could do
it's
one of them.
yeah, the brain is pretty easy.
Yeah, right. Exactly. How was your beer? Your repeat.
Beer is good. This is definitely one to drink again and again. The second time I've done it on this podcast. I hope that's the critique I gave before, but man, this is a good beer. I do like a whipped beer but the citrus is really perfect. It's a perfect blend,
Good.
and I would recommend drinking it. Really, if you're in an area where you can get Radiant, they do a lot of good beers. So.
Well, if we don't get caught, if our timeline doesn't catch up with the sucking of the black hole, we'll be back again next week. And and until then, uh,
Nothing's real, so live your best life.
none of this matters. Nothing's real. Everything that you think is important in your life is not. We're all minuscule, and in the grand scheme of things, we are just mere micro penis in a large pool.